Thanks a lot, Sam. As you mentioned, standing by with driver Doug McNair. And Doug, I want to talk to you about a few things. First things first, though, we'll talk about a couple of your mounts on tonight's card. Beginning in race 6, you've got Bikinis on Top for trainer Krista Williams. You actually drove this filly at Batavia last time. She was a solid second there in Sire Stakes action.
Yeah, she raced real good there. She had it doubled up the whole way, and I wouldn't be surprised if I half choked her, And she still paced a mile and 55 and 4, and I think she's got a really good shot at winning that race.
She really zipped out of there as well. 27 flat first quarter Batavia. That's really moving.
Yeah, and she did it right. She's good gated, and I actually had to shut her down and put her back in the 2-hole. So if things would have worked out right that night, I think she would have had a good shot at winning.
Well, good deal. We'll look for that. Again, that's in race 6, first leg of that pick 4 tonight. You may want to take a look at Bikinis on Top. Now, moving right along, we'll go to race 8, Chivalry Hanover. This one for your father, a trotting filly. You drove this one up there in a stake at Mohawk. Was a game second there after a first over trip.
Yeah, it was a real tough trip, and she showed it how good she is, and she come first over and did it a tough way, and still hung on for second. She raced really good that race, and last week in Vernon, same thing. She went to the front, had cheap enough fractions, and she ended up winning. So Dad owns her himself, so I'd like to get as much money as I could with her.
Well, that's right. And speaking of that, now you've been driving a lot of top stakes horses for everyone, it seems, but is there any added pressure when you're driving for your father?
No, he's probably one of the easiest, or if not the easiest to drive for. He doesn't say much on the way out, and if things go wrong, he turns the page in the next race, so he's great to drive for.
Well, that is great. That's a lot to have under your belt there when you can expect that from your dad. Now, we're going to move on to tomorrow night's card. Of course, Precocious Beauty, one of the best fillies in the country. What is it like driving a filly like this? She just hasn't done anything wrong.
Well, yeah, she's been great so far. She's 4 for 4 up in Canada, and excited to get to drive her down here. It's a fast track here, and I hope things work out for her. She's just a monster to drive. You can versatile. You can race her both ways, on the front and off the pace, and that's what makes a good horse great.
And that's true. Either way for Precocious Beauty. And one other one, Barefoot Beauty. Now, this is going to be a long shot tomorrow night. You actually just set her the track record with her Batavia, 54 and change. That's a huge mile for that track.
Yeah, exactly. And she did it the hard way. She got away 6, I think, and come along first over, and she paced around them down the backside. I think she went 28 flat or something around there, and paced home good, or maybe even 27 down the backside. So she's quick enough, and if she gets the right trip, I think she'll be right there with them.
I know you seem to be competing more and more in the United States here recently, Doug. Any plans for the future, maybe a move somewhere in the States with the uncertainty in Canada?
Yeah, well, it's always a possibility. I'd love to race the Meadowlands someday. My whole life I always watch races from there, and to think about driving there is just a dream. So maybe someday see myself in the Meadowlands.
Well, best of luck in the future. We're going to send it back upstairs to you, Sam.